6.1 is the law of sines or the sine rule. How do you use trig to solve and find areas of oblique triangles? An oblique triangle is a triangle without a right triangle. Remember that when labeling a triangle, the sides opposite angles are marked with the corresponding lowercase letter. So solving oblique triangles, in order to solve them, we need to know the measure of at least one side along with any other two parts of the triangle. There are four possibilities. We could be given two sides or two angles and one side. We could be given two sides and one angle, three sides, or two sides and the angle in between. You might remember these theorems from geometry when proving two triangles are congruent. The only one that doesn't work when proving two triangles are congruent is SSA, when we're given two sides and one angle opposite. That's the tricky one, because that one there could possibly be two triangles. Here's the law of sines. The law of sines is the ratio of the side and the sine of the angle opposite the side. So we have a side and the sine of the angle opposite the side. That's going to be equal to side B divided by sine of angle B. And that's equal to side C divided by sine of angle C. Different texts write this different ways. We might also see this as sine of A over A is equal to sine of B over B. Here's an example. And this is the angle side example. So I'm going to draw a picture of triangle ABC. I know that angle C is an obtuse angle. Angle B is 18.9. Side B is the side opposite angle B. And we're supposed to find angle A, side A, which is opposite angle A, and side C. The first thing I'm going to do is find the measure of angle A. All the angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. Got 39.7 degrees. Next, I'm going to write my ratio of sine of B and side B. So 32.6 over the sine of 18.9. I'm going to find side C by dividing it by sine of 121.4. And then I'm going to remember that if we have a ratio where two proportions are equal, we have a proportion where two ratios are equal, we can set the cross products equal.
Hey, good afternoon, Highland Senior High School. Please excuse this interruption. Hey, just a heads up at this time, teachers in class, please take the time to, if you haven't already, open up the document that I sent you this morning called Bus Assignments 2020-2021, April 14th, and go over with each one of your students in your classroom at this time, making sure they know exactly which bus they are getting on, if they're riding a bus, or if they're getting a ride home. Just make sure they know exactly how they're getting home today. And if you go through that bus assignment list and one of your students' names is on there, but they don't have a bus route on there and they don't know which one it is, please send them down to see myself or Ms. Veneman. We will help them. And then also I sent you a parking list, Highland Park Senior High School parking order for April that shows the different zones that the bus letters are in. Please make sure if a kid is in, let's say, they say, well, I'm on bus C, they know that they're in zone 4. If they ride bus P as in Papa, that's in zone 2. We'll also have our security guards out front on Snelling helping direct kids when they're looking for their bus. So just make sure that each kid knows how they're getting home and where their bus is going to be located. And if they don't know, send them down to see us, please. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Sorry about that. I'm recording my video at school. Okay, so I found that side C is 85.9 by setting the cross products equal and then dividing. And I'm doing the same thing here. So I'm going to multiply 32.6 times the sine of 39.7. Also make sure your calculator is in degrees. And then dividing it by sine of 18. And I got A equals 64.29 feet. Example 2, given two angles and one side. A pole tilts away from the sun at a 10-degree angle. So if we have the sun, and here's our 90-degree angle here, the pole might be a little bit off center where this is 10 degrees. The pole casts a shadow that is 31 feet long. The angle of elevation from the tip of the shadow to the sun is 25 degrees. How tall is the pole? So here's our picture we have. We can find that this angle here is actually 90 plus 10, or 100 degrees. We can find this angle because we know that in a triangle, all the angles add up to 180. So 100 plus 25 is 125. 180 minus 125 is 55 degrees. And then I can set up my ratio, 31 over the sine of 55 equals, we want to know how tall the pole is, so x over the angle opposite x is 25. And again, I'm going to cross multiply, so I get x times sine of 55 equals 31 times sine of 25. And I got x is equal to 15.9937. 16 feet. Two rangers, one at station A and one at station B, observe a fire in the forest. So we have A and B, and we have a fire. The angle at station A formed by the lines of sight to station B and the fire is 65.23 degrees. The angle at station B formed by the lines of sight to angle A or station A and the fire is 56.47 degrees. And the stations are 10 kilometers apart. So this is an example of angle side angle. And we are asked to find how far from station A is the fire. So I'll call that little b. I am going to use the triangle sum theorem that all the angles add up to 180 to figure out that this angle must be 58.3. Always using the angle and the side that's opposite that angle. And then I'm going to cross multiply. And I get that angle, or side B, or station A is 9.8 kilometers from the fire. And we can do the same thing by setting up the ratio to find the distance from B to the fire. And I did that wrong. Oh no, I didn't. 65, I did that right. 65.23. I got 10.67.